Coaches and officials, welcome to the Week 9 training tape. This is Monty Tilsner. I'll be taking you through 13 plays from this past week's action. So let's go ahead and get started. First play here is just a good example of a good hard hit that is not targeting. We definitely have to be alert of this with this player coming in at this angle that we could have a targeting foul. But as you can see there, it's clearly a shoulder-to-shoulder hit, and he's just using that to break up the pass. There is not a wrap-up action, but that's fine. We do not have targeting. This is a defensive player, so we could have 9-1-3 or 9-1-4, but you can see we don't have a dip of the helmet, and we do not have a forceful contact with the head and neck area of this defenseless receiver. So we have no foul on that play. We look at the end zone view, we get a good look at it also. Let's take a look here. And again, we'll go back and slow that down a little bit for you. So just coming in and making a good hard hit on this receiver, but no foul for targeting. Good play by the defense. Next play here, we've got talking about holding here, and you can see, what we need. Obviously, we right now should have a couple sets of eyes. Since this runner's in space, we would want I believe that's our line judge, on this block. Our deep wing definitely is on this block, and our back judge is going to be on that block. So that's kind of where we're looking right now. And we see we're going to have a restriction there. So we definitely have offensive holding at that point. We do end up having a takedown as well. So let's say you didn't have enough for a hold. As I continue this, you're going to see, when he throws him down there, he's got to grab him to throw him down. So that would make that a takedown hold. But we definitely have enough for a hold right there. You can see it's totally, twisting his shoulders. So we've got a hold there, and you can see we've got a second flag that comes in. Comment is, if we have that same hold, we want to get those get those flags together, get those on top of each other, and thinking about, do we need to move our flags? Well, so the hold occurs at the 48-yard line, negative 48, and our runner ends up going out of bounds at the positive 47. So we do need, that is going to be a spot foul. So we're going to need to get those flags together. We are going to have to move them because our one flag comes down at the 50. So we're going to want to move that back to the 48, get this other flag that comes in on top of that flag, and then report to our referee after a conversation between the two officials. And then we're going to enforce that 10 yards from the 48, position 1, and the clock would be on the ready. I think we get a decent view of it from this side as well. Let's take a look here. Camera's kind of bouncing around, so not the greatest view there, but all right, next one we've got, same game. So we got a couple on progress on this training tape. This is our first one. The second one is a great one right around the end zone. But let's take a look at this one first. So this is the forward most progress spot. So we've got progress hanging at this point, and he never lets go. So we've got our progress right up there at the 13-yard line. Again, comment is, remains one-on-one. No free shot coming against the ball carrier, so we can let this go a little bit to see if this, receiver can, or this runner can fight off that. At this point, we're going to want to be, he's going down, so we're going to want to be on our whistles, but we know we've got our progress up there at the 13-yard line. So very nice job by the line judge of ruling forward progress and having a very good spot on that play. One thing I do want to show that I saw on the end zone view of this one is our deep wing's in very good position initially at the goal line at the back of the white, but just stay there. This play's still going on. Stay there and observe that action. Remember, our ideal positioning to be able to see well, especially any extracurricular activities is 8 to 15 yards. When we get too close, we just lose some of that vision. So just stay right where you're at. And when this play is totally done, we can close down a little bit. You can see we're right on top of these players at this point. We don't need to be anywhere near that close. We could still be back at that goal line and now slowly close in, but really there's no action that we need to be concerned about there. And we're going to have better vision, back there at the goal line. All right, so this one, we do not have offensive pass interference because this ball is first touched at the line of scrimmage. So it's correct, no call for OPI. Let's go back and talk about. So right now, remember this receiver definitely engaged our defensive back. So we're 3 yards downfield. So remember, what we've talked about is this is OPI hanging. All right. So we've got OPI hanging right here, and we obviously do not throw our flags because it's hanging. We need to see what happens with the ball, and we see the ball coming out here. This guy stepped back, so we're going to get a good look, and right there, we should be able to see probably that he's catching that ball at the line of scrimmage. Otherwise, remember we've talked about that we want our line of scrimmage officials, if this ball is first touched beyond the line of scrimmage, get on the 0-2-0 during the play and just say beyond. And that lets our deep wing, who's seen that block, know that he can then throw for OPI. All right. In this case, this is first touched in or behind the line of scrimmage, so we do not have a foul for OPI. Next, we've got progress is at the 40. We definitely have progress at the 40. We end up spotting this at the 41. It's not huge, but if we go back here and go in slow motion, you can see this guy, he never gets to the 41. He's at the 40. He's at the 40. Now he backtracks. He just gets to the 40 again before he gets hit and driven backwards. And we end up going to the 41. I do like that we give a whine there so everyone knows, that we are in bounds. But probably gave him an extra yard. So something to think about. Another one I saw on the same play, again from our deep. I don't know why we're coming in on the field. We definitely should not be coming on the field. Just stay back to the white where you were initially. I think when this gets to you, you're already starting to come out on the field. Okay, just stay at the back of the white and watching that block by number 4. So I think we kind of catch ourselves there, but we really don't need to be coming in at the end of this play. There's nothing happening here. Our short wing can come in and be separating this players. We don't have to worry about getting a football. So just stay back and be able to observe a little better. I think we need to go to the sideline or the end zone view on this one. All right, let's take a look here. So again, on this one, this is definitely a red flag for targeting. We do have a lowering of the helmet, leading with the crown. So we have potential for forcible contact with the crown of the helmet. But you can see he ends up not using the crown. The contact is shoulder to shoulder. So, we could have a 913 or a 914 on this. But we do not have either because we don't have the crown for 913. We don't have a 914 with head and neck area, forcible contact to the head or neck area of a defenseless player because the contact was to the shoulder. So good job. Correct, no call on that one. Very good officiating. Okay, this next one, this is a really interesting one. So we've got a pull and shoot that's going to happen here. These usually do not happen on the outside like this, but this is definitely one that we did have a pull and shoot. And our problem is, as you can see by my comment, remember, side judges, you don't just come in from your side of the field, and if you're coming from this side, stop and be to the left of the umpire. You need to get to the heavy side. And you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys over here. We've only got 3 over here. So our side judge should be standing right here and should be looking right at this action. And our umpire then would have to shift over to the other side of the center. So side judges, go to the heavy side, tell your umpire, hey, I'm on your right or I'm on your left, but let's watch. This is going to be a pull. He's going to come forward. He's going to grab this guy by this inside shoulder. He's going to yank him inside. And this outside guy then, it's not really a gap, but he's freeing him up. There's just not a gap because there's not two players, but he is creating a gap for that guy to go through. So let's take a look at this. Okay. And defense cannot pull a blocker out of the way to allow a teammate to get to the kicker unblocked. So let's take a look and go in slow motion. You can see this. So right now we're good, but now watch what 45 does. If he just continues to go through this guy, that's not a problem. But he definitely is just yanking him to the side to allow his teammate to get through, and his teammate does get a hand on this kick and does block it. All right, so if we're in the right position, if we've got our side judge on that heavy side, then I think we have a good chance of getting this. Now, possibly could our line judge see this? Maybe it'd be a great pickup by the line judge. I'm just not sure if we would have the right angle to be able to see it. But let's imagine that we're over there on that side and see if we think we might be able to get this. It's possible you might see that guy's definitely getting pulled down, from the side. So we might be able to get help from our line judge. But if our side judge is over on the heavy side, I think that's one that we're definitely going to get. So, all right, we've got several punt plays here to talk about. So some mechanics. All right, so first of all, we've got a potential open field takedown hold here. This one, it happens so early, and it's in the defensive or offensive backfield. I think that's one that probably has zero impact on that play. That guy's able to get up and be right into that play again. So I think that's one. If we viewed that as a takedown, that's one we might be able to pass on. It's borderline. It's borderline if he takes him down or not. That guy might just be losing his balance. Okay, so here's our next one, potential offensive or a takedown hold. This one here I want to look at, who's throwing who down? And that's the thing. We got to see the whole action, because if we can't see who's throwing who down, then we can't throw anything. So in order to have a hold here, we need white throwing down blue, and I think blue's trying to drag white down. I just don't think we can go with anything there. Like I said, if we don't know for sure who's got who and who's grabbing who and pulling them down, then we better stay off that. Good job by our deep wing here of getting back to the goal line on this. Initially this ball comes up and it bounces at the 22. So I can see him coming off that goal line pylon, which is where he started at, with that kick being at the 50, coming up to maybe the 5. Good job of not coming up further. But now this ball takes a pretty quick bounce backwards, and he does a nice job of being able to get back to this goal line. Our back judge is coming up probably a little too far. Remember, we want you 7 yards behind that guy anyway. So when that ball comes down and hits at the 22, we would want you to be snapped at the 15, and you're running past it at that point. So just a little closer to the ball as well, but just get settled in a little bit. And he tries to get back to the goal line. Luckily, we've got it covered by our deep wing, but we could do a little better job mechanically there from our back judge position. So here's our problem, really, is where we're starting out. Remember, we don't want you to start out in the middle of the field. We want you starting out just behind this guy. About, your depth is good. I like your depth about 10 yards behind him with that goal line being there. But you should be just off of his inside shoulder to begin with. And if you're in that position to begin with, then when this ball gets kicked off further, all you need to do now, you would be right there, and all you need to do is move up right here, and now you've got that good angle that we're talking about. We don't ever want you to come outside the hash, so you could have maybe slid over just a little bit and been, right in here at that time, probably at about the 10-yard line. So your depth is good, but we need you not in the middle of the field. You're just way too far away from this to see if we've got a muff or something. So if you started out on his back shoulder and slid over, you could easily be sitting right here at the 10-yard line, just inside the hash, and have a really good view at this. And then you would be in position to be able to retreat to that goal line as well. Okay, next play. Another one on punt mechanics. Obviously, we need our referee making a judgment on if this guy would step out of bounds. We've got a potential hold here. Okay, so let's think about this. If we've got this hold on that player, okay, that is a hold by K, and we want that, it's starting there. If we call this, we're starting that hold at the 3-yard line. So if he continues to hold him into the end zone, we are not saying that's a safety. All right. So we do get a flag by our line of scrimmage official. Just be really careful, line of scrimmage officials. And this one, I think you can stick with it because we've got all these guys retreating and not going downfield. If they go downfield, you got to be having your eyes with them going downfield. In this case, we've only got the center, I think, who releases downfield. So our line of scrimmage official sticks with these guys, and he gets that hold, which I think is a great pickup. Okay, you can see him. He's going to throw his flag here in just a second. And now this is our, ironically, this is our furthest downfield gunner. So this is going to be our deep wings responsibility here. And you can see that is one we need called. Okay, so we're talking about holds. I mean, these are the easy ones. If you're a deep guy on a punt play, this is what you're hoping happens. Okay, this guy in blue definitely throws him down. And if we don't have that action occurring the same time as a fair catch, we've got a flag. We should have a flag. And I do not believe we have a flag on this one. So that's one we would want to have a flag. And again, we got reverse mechanic going on. So our deep wing needs to get to that out of bounds spot and hold it. And our line of scrimmage official can be coming in to get those players out of the sideline. Deep wing, if you feel you need to go in there because there's players, getting after it, then drop a bag down. But otherwise, you got progress, and your line of scrimmage official is going to have to get in there and get players out. Again, I know you've got a flag, but before you address that, we need to finish dead ball officiating and help get all these players back out into their respective areas safely. Okay. All right. So we can see a little bit different view here. I like the hold there. Like I said, we definitely have a throwdown hold by this guy right here. All right. So that's one we would want to get as well. So let's talk about that. Let's say we have that hold by the kicking team, okay, and then later we have this hold by the return team. Okay, that hold occurs when the ball is still in the air. So we've got the end of the kick at the 35, and we would have potential for an offset, right? We could have Team B could say, nope, we want to take the Team A foul, and we're going to have these offset. We're going to re-kick. Or they can say, nope, that's a nice short kick. We will take the ball. We'll decline their foul, and we're going to take our hold, which was during the kick. So this is going to be a PSK. So we're going to go PSK from here, and then we're obviously going to go into position 1. And they would get the ball at the 45-yard line. So that's one of those. They're going to have a choice, but I'm pretty sure they would take that ball at the 45-yard line instead of offset those and re-kick when we were snapping from the 10. So, but those are things you got to think about, things you got to discuss with the coaches. Next play, we've got 12 players on defense. So let's get our count, and We should, right now what we should be doing is we should be on the O2O, and I think we just, made a communication here verbally saying I've got 12, so that's good. And now you're just waiting to see. And remember, we're making this a live ball foul. So looks like we're thinking about it, talking about it, and we get the snap. So right now we should have flags going up by those two officials. Remember, this is a live ball foul, so we're not blowing this dead. And we could have the flags come out sooner. That's one thing, is our flags definitely come out late here. Right now our flags should be coming out. We wait until this ball is really going through the uprights, then we throw our flags. So mechanically, we need to understand this is a foul at the snap. So if the foul at the snap, our flags should come out at the snap when we get that 12 on defense. All right, next one. We've got a legal side block here, and we'll watch this from the end zone view as well. I mean, that's exactly what we want them to do. This guy does not blindside block him. He just does that kind of wave by, okay? And that's a great technique there. And in this one, we've got, kind of looks like chase mode, but he's on the side a little more. We'll see this better from the end zone view. Hands start on the side, and he continues. From this angle, it looks like that could be a block in the back. But if we take a look, just like the comment says here, it's a two-hand push, not between the shoulder blades, and we're not in chase mode. So this is a legal block. If we look at it from this view, we will get a much better view of that block coming in. It's going to be right here. There's our first one, not a blind side. Here's our block that we're talking about for the potential IBB. You can see he's on the side, continues on the side. I mean, he doesn't have anything in the back, right? He's got both of his hands, one maybe in the front of the side, one in the back of the side. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Is not an illegal block. So great judgment by the officials on that play. Next one, we've got a block below the waist. So we've got to know, our referee should 100% know this back is out. We've got our center, we've got our guard, we've got our tackle. So number 2 here is out. So he's stationary outside the tackle box. We can communicate that if we have to. That one should be a pretty easy one. But referee, you need to know that he's out, because look at what he's going to do here. He's going to come back across, okay? And right now, as a referee, it's like that is your number one focus. You got to see that block, all right? And he definitely intends to go low. So even if he was inside the tackle box, this block is not from the front. That's from the side. That would be a foul. But this guy was outside the tackle box to begin with, so he can't go anyway. He can't go low anyway, all right? And that's probably going to be picked up. Like I said, our referee should be following that across. Our referee can pick that up. We take a look at the side view. I believe that's not the same play. From the side view here, this guy coming across. Is there any way we could get this from the line of scrimmage? Let's take a look. Yeah, we definitely, I think, could pick that up, from our headline judge, possibly. The difficulty there is going to be, you might not know where that guy started from. Hopefully you do. You could always throw and then ask the question. And somebody's got to know. Because if you throw and come in and say, hey, I got number 2 from a block with a block below the waist coming across the formation. Who had him at the start? Where was he at the start? We should be able to get that information. And then we can pick up that foul if we need to. Okay, next play. It's our last 2, I think. So we've got a block below the waist here, which is legal. It is not a foul. This guy is on the line of scrimmage, and he is going low on his initial charge. And the question is, this is clipping or not? This is not clipping, because in order to have clipping, we need to be from behind and at the waist or below. And we can see we're definitely still on the side there. So contact is on the side. At the hip. It really doesn't even matter if it's at the hip. He can go low from the side. He can legally block below the waist, low from the side, because he was in the tackle box in his immediate charge. If we look at the other view here, we can see, we'll see this block a little better. And you can see that it's definitely, it's going to be this big guy right here going on number 48. Okay, that's definitely from the side. There's no way that we could rule that's from behind. Okay, so we get fooled a little bit on that one. I'm not sure if, I think we had it as a clip. So we just need to make sure that we understand, you know, what the rule is on a clip. Okay, last play. This is a really, really good play. So we got reverse goal line mechanics. We got the snap at the 4-yard line. So snap at the 4. We know that we're going back to the goal line at the snap, and we do a good job of that. We do go back at the snap. We might want to go with a little more urgency. But the interesting thing about this now is this guy's going to get grabbed and slung back into the end zone from the 2. Right here, you know, good job moving back to the goal line. Stay on that goal line. Okay? That is your line. Until this play's over, that's your line. The only way you're going to come off of it is if this guy gets out maybe to the 5 and is still going forward, then you can come off that goal line. But you need to stay on that line. Okay? Because he gets flung back into the end zone here. And does he disengage or not? When he gets flung back, does he go back in the end zone on his own? Those are all things we got to make judgments on. And we're going to take a look at another view. He ends up being in the end zone. So short wing, we just get a length. Just stay at that goal line. Now we come out. We say, oh, we got progress at the 3. Okay, well, you're not. So we've got what we call progress hanging. Okay, so our progress is hanging at the 3 when this guy gets flung back. All right, but we need to stay at the goal line unless he regains his balance and he himself starts going forward again. That's the only way that hanging progress goes away. All right, so we go to the end zone view. We got a little better look at some of this. All right, so we've got our guy taking the handoff, getting out to the 3. We got a grab here. He slings him back. Definitely off balance. So this guy's just spinning out, but he's still off balance when this next guy comes and hits him, and we can't see that for just a second. But we saw that from the other view. And now, you know, he never really, he's still got it around the ankle there. He's never back on his own. So we got that hanging progress out at the 2 or the 3-yard line, and we still want to be at the goal line. When this guy getting tackled in the end zone, we now, if we're on the goal line where we should be, we're going to go out to the 2, and we're going to take a step in with that hand up so everyone knows we got progress at the 2. We've got our that must not be, it's got to be our umpire with an L on. So we've got other officials who are going to be coming in and cleaning this up, this action up. So, all right. Good work on that one. That is our last play. So a lot of really good officiating on this one. Great plays and just a great job by our officials. So I know we're going into playoff crews this week. So the 2 crews that were nominated to be the representatives for the GPAC for the playoffs. Congratulations to all those members on those crews. Really get after it the next couple weeks in your pre-games. Everybody, all the crews should be getting after it in their pre-games and finish strong. Congratulations to these who made the playoffs. Those crew members who did not, you know, that's got to be just incentive for you to keep wanting to get better and hopefully be selected for one of those playoff crews in the future. So I think we'll continue with a couple more training tapes yet, but safe travels and work hard, and we'll talk to you again next week.